So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's been 10 years, 5 games, and I'm now breaking down not just an Easter egg ending, but the ending to zombies in general, which is kind of crazy to think I'm used to just breaking down Easter egg endings. Now I gotta break down the fucking end to the entire series. That's a lot in one video, so we're gonna try to do our best here. I want to give a shout out and a massive congratulations to Unpunked and his team for being the first in the world to not only complete Tag der Toten, but be first in the world to see the ending to Call of Duty Zombies. That's a hell of an achievement and something to really hang your hat on. So shout out to you guys. During this breakdown today, I'm not going to be showing you the entire ending. If you want to see the ending, you can go to Unpunked's channel. I'm just going to be showing you some screenshots in this video, but I will still break down this ending in its entirety. If you just want to see the full thing, though, do check out Unpunked's channel. One last announcement before we break into the breakdown. I want to just quickly mention that I'm doing a sale of my Zombies poster pack. In this poster pack, you can get 8 posters. I'm selling them right now for $10 off as I get rid of the last of my inventory. I only have so many left, so once they're gone, they're going to be gone forever. I'm never doing another reprint of these posters again, so get them while they're available. They probably won't be available much longer. So a link is in the description if you're interested in my Zombies poster pack. Check it out. Without further ado, though, let's finally break down the end to zombies. So the ending begins with Nikolai sitting down with the crew as they drink. You'll remember that they're having their final night. We saw this in the intro cinematic, and he says, "Comrades, as we toast to our victory, I want each of you to think about what you really want." And I know this might seem like something frivolous or a throwaway line or them just thinking wishfully, but no, this is actually important because at the end of the Easter egg, they receive the Argothan device. And as Richtofen explains in one of his radios, the Argothan device actually functions almost like a genie in a bottle. It can grant you what you most desire.
We also recovered plans for the Agarthan device. It seems that the blacksmiths already built one of the pieces, the fabled Vril vessel. The Agarthan device, a device capable of granting that which one desires. Almost like a genie in a bottle. I think I shall keep this genie in my back pocket. If my plan fails, and it won't, perhaps this device can get me to Agartha.
More on that in a bit. We next have Victus at Call of the Dead trying to contact Richtofen. We then see Richtofen sitting next to Nikolai, except this isn't normal Richtofen. This is that same zombified Richtofen we saw at the intro cinematic. There was a lot of debate over whether or not this zombie Richtofen would be evil, or whether or not he'd actually be working with Nikolai. Would we have 2 competing Easter eggs or something like that? But it seems that that's not the case, that this zombie Richtofen was actually working alongside Nikolai. It wasn't like he was off doing his own thing. So this idea that zombie Richtofen was evil appears to be wrong. And it seems as though maybe whenever Richtofen just wants to contact Victus, he has to turn into his zombified form. That may be the case. It was never fully explained. Regardless, they now have the Argothan device, and with that as well as the shard they received from Alpha Omega, they're able to set things right. In doing so, the summoning key is destroyed, and with it, everything that it has affected will also begin to disappear. This is why we see Victus and everything around them disappear. Tragically, Richtofen had promised the Victus crew that they would be saved, rewarded for saving the universe. They'd receive a paradise. However, Richtofen, like he's done notoriously throughout the series, lied to them. There would be no reward. They would just cease to exist, and this was just another of one of Richtofen's many lies. However, this time, Richtofen says he's sorry. He actually apologizes for lying, and this is something I'm not sure we've ever seen from Ultimus Richtofen. It just goes to show the bond that he has formed with Stuhlinger and his team. So what we see next is Nikolai holding a gun to zombified Richtofen, and in this moment, it's not because zombie Richtofen is evil or he's up to something nefarious and we have to stop him before he does it, or Nikolai's one step ahead of the curve. No, he's doing this because this is what needs to be done. Everybody in this situation is going to die. Nobody can come out of this alive. You see, everything that they've been going through, all of this madness, the fractures, the temporal rifts, the multiverse, everything we've gone through in zombies from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, and let's not forget World at War, in a way is in part because of them. They keep perpetuating this cycle of madness. As much as we think Monty is a part of this cycle of madness, and Monty is the one who sends them back in time to continue this loop and allow this to continue happening, they're just as much at fault. Even Richtofen. This is why Richtofen needed to die at the end of Blood of the Dead, why we had to let him die. He couldn't bear the fact that there was no way to save the universe without them all dying. He kept trying, and it was in this endless pursuit to save the universe while saving himself that he ended up dooming everybody. And Nikolai read the Chronorium and realized this. He was probably one of the few in our storyline who was able to come to grips with the fact that there was no way to save the universe as well as themselves. And this was something that even somebody like Monty, an all-powerful being, could not do himself. He was the antagonist in this story not because he was evil, but because he also wanted to save himself. In a way, he's much like Richtofen. Now, as the universe comes to a close and the multiverse folds in on itself, we see everything disappear, and Nikolai explains that everything goes to back where it belongs, the Dark Ether. And what exactly this place of the Dark Ether is, we don't exactly know. He then mentions that their time has passed and they shouldn't be here. As they do that, we see images of the rest of our crew, Victus and Ultimus alike, dead on the ground. They most likely have also been shot by Nikolai, and this is kind of where you see a much darker side of Nikolai's scheme. You see, Nikolai probably couldn't tell the rest of the crew that they were all going to die by the end of this journey, because if he did so, well, then they might not be on board. So they had this final night, and he got them roaring drunk. And once roaring drunk, they eventually passed out. And with zombified Richtofen and himself the last awake, it was time. He used zombified Richtofen to contact the Victus crew, get the device, and with the rest of the crew sleeping, assassinated all of them. And that's why they're dead on the ground. Unfortunately, to save the universe, they could not survive. And then he kills zombified Richtofen once he was done with him. And all that's left now is Nikolai, and Nikolai being much stronger than Monty, being much stronger than Richtofen, knows it's time for him to pass too. And you'll remember in the intro cutscene, Nikolai talks to the children and mentions that he's sorry they have to do this. Now, we always thought that was kill Dr. Monty or something like that, or go fight in the Great War, because a war is no place for children. But no, we actually saw in the intro cutscene our first look at the ending to Zombies, and this isn't one of those, oh, the ending to Zombies was in front of our face the whole time. No, it was there at the intro and it is now here at the ending, and Nikolai asks Samantha to shoot him. And in doing so, Nikolai is like the rest of his crew, dead on the ground, but in for a better tomorrow. So then, Samantha does what needs to be done, tragically. It's sad because it's something no child should ever really need to do, but it's the only way to save the universe, because so long as the rest of Primus and Ultimus are still around, there's still a chance that things in the multiverse could get screwed up. As things fade to black, we see Samantha and Eddie walk towards a light, and what we see on screen are the wishes of our characters. You'll remember at the beginning of the video, I spoke about how the Argothan device works almost like a genie in a bottle, and it can grant you what you most desired. And Nikolai asked everybody to think about what they desire most in the whole world. And here's where we start to see what they actually desire most in the whole world. For Nikolai, it's to be able to return home to his beloved wife, before the bombs had fell on his city, to be by her side in her last few moments. Then, as we continue on, we learn about Takio's final wish, which was to see himself at peace in the serenity of a cherry blossom tree, listening to the joy of his children at play. For Richtofen, he'd like to teach, perhaps to become a pathologist. Dempsey, he thinks that he'd make a pretty good DI and maybe help some future soldiers toughen up. For Ultimus Nikolai, well, he'd like to be at his favorite bar with some vodka by his side. For Ultimus Takio, what he would like is to know that he has earned the approval of not only his ancestors, but the Emperor. For Ultimus Richthofen, he decides it's time for him to relax, take up a hobby, and maybe start his own morgue. And then lastly, Tank Dempsey, and almost most fitting, wherever he goes, he just wants to be kicking ass. And I think as our characters walk into this light, they actually do receive their wishes. You know, this is where things are up to interpretation. You could imagine that they enter the dark ether and that's it for our characters, but maybe they also get their wishes and Dempsey continues to live on, kicking ass, and Takio can live under the serenity of a cherry blossom watching his children play. It's actually kind of funny to see the difference between our Ultimus versions of our characters and our Primus versions of our characters, where you have the much serious Primus characters and then the much less serious Ultimus characters. And in a way, it's almost kind of fitting that we end with Dempsey saying he just knows he'll be kicking ass because in a way he was always the player and will continue to play zombies and continue to kick ass even if our story has come to a conclusion. So that's going to wrap things up for the zombie storyline. It ends with Samantha and Eddie, who we saw at the Origins ending, walking towards what we assume is a better tomorrow at the end of that light. We've left Primus and Ultimus behind, and all that's left is a future where hopefully things turn all right for them. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to end a video like this, because normally I end things with new theories or areas we could explore, but no, that's it for zombies, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. I'm always covering the zombie storylines, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. And again, just as a reminder, if you want to get your hands on my Zombies poster pack, a link is in the description. They're on sale right now for $10 off as I get rid of the last of my inventory. Once I run out of posters, there will be no more, so make sure you get a jump on them. They might not last long. That's going to go. Have a wonderful day. Congrats to Unpunk for being first in the world. A link to his cutscene is in the description, and bye.